Hello everybody and welcome into the SFA Season 13. We've got Week 4 BearCave games on tap for you. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see everything, and we'll go ahead and get started. It is a big day today. Week 4, it's a bit early as I do have to go out of town. I do not know what that means for Week 5, but we are here early today, and we have a great batch of games. We already had some great games going on, and the Patreon watch party actually was really good as well. If you don't know what the SFA is, it's an online dynasty ran entirely through Discord. So you can coach, you can set schemes, you can hire coordinators, you can set your depth charts, and you can recruit. We also have a fully functional sports book with coins and fantasy football and a bunch of other server games that you can participate in as well. So if that interests you, feel free to check it out. Also, if you do watch live, you might run into an ad or two because we are affiliated with Twitch. Any and all revenue made through this channel does go back to you guys in the form of a national championship care package and trophy. So if you want to drop a Twitch Prime, that is great and much appreciated. But yeah, so you guys say we can hear me, so we can go ahead and get into it here. It is going to be a nice one. We got some unique teams today on BearCave. Let me get rid of this graphic. And yeah, here we are. We're starting out with Colorado State taking on BYU, Coach Ron's new team. And this is going to be potentially the gameplay debut of Fedro Bautista, the 99 throw power and 50 accuracy quarterback, or not accuracy, awareness quarterback. So we'll see how he plays. So let's go on and get into it. I'm already ready. So Ron, if you are here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. It'd only be kick or receive here. And the Colorado State coach, this is their first ever appearance. Not sure how active he is, but nevertheless, we are ready to go here. Very, very hyped for today's games. And we are off on BearCave, baby. The debut of Coach Ron and in his new digs. He spent his entire career at Iowa State ever since Season 7. So nice 5-year career there. Made a playoff, won a national championship, so he made it twice. Sir Moon, please retract that statement. This is not the best team in Colorado. For those guys who do not know, my least favorite IRL team outside any SEC teams is Colorado State, because I am a Buffalo fan. Love these crispy BYU jerseys that they got going on here in Revamped. And for those of you, I'm a Colorado Buffalo fan, not those fake people up in Buffalo. But if you were betting on the sports book, BYU is a 3-point favorite at home, and the over-under is our lowest, I think, potentially in history, 38.5. So here we go. Ron coming in, and he did not even get a chance to do it. Here we go. Ron's new digs. He just made it. And quickly in the first quarter, 7-7. I don't know what that quick touchdown was, but already we are going towards the over here in the first quarter. These teams both did not score hardly at all in their previous games, so that's why that over-under was so low. But 21-7 here at halftime. BYU controls the game early. Are we going to see any more scoring? That over is coming up hot. There it is, 28-7 as we enter the fourth quarter. And the over hits right there. But is that going to be it? This seems to be a blowout in his debut for Ron, but a quick response for Colorado State. And they get another response, but no, they get stacked at the goal line. And that is going to do it. BYU comes up clutch here today as they go to 3-0. Now let's see how they did it here. Clay, and then kickoff return for Colorado State, and then Bautista, and then Clay, just pounding the rock down their throat. That's what you like to do. Bautista had a really good game today. You know, 58 completion percentage, pretty good for him considering his accuracy, but just running the ball right through Franklin Clay, that's what you want to do. 4 touchdowns for him today. And Jeff Pimpton didn't really do much. It was more so Joe Taylor. Interesting. And Mo Latu got himself a sack. He got an interception from Jake Potts and 2 sacks from Adam Mitchell. And Ozuna, the SFA player, didn't do much. All right, and then Colorado State, their debut here, Tavares Sherman. Not the best stat line there. And if you are new around here and you don't know how BearCave works, is we live sim the game like you just saw. And if it's close at the end, we will jump in and watch it unfold. But in games like this where it's a blowout, we just sim to the end. Yeah, you gotta DM me any roster changes. And let me get my player of the game here. So 3-0 start for BYU. Now, I will say they haven't really played much of any quality opponents. I believe that they have some quality opponents coming up. Welcome in, Cryo Justin, your first career BearCave stream. All right. 8 ads in a row. That is a great time to plug Twitch Prime. It's free if you have a Prime account. Any and all revenue goes to you guys. All right, next up, though, we're going over to the AAC. We've got Mid-Tennessee State and Flipper Masters taking on Coach Yui and future Heisman winner, the Hefty Lefty. So, Yui, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive, or it's kick or receive, I guess. Kick if you win. All right, thank you, Yui. And this is a matchup between our 2 female users in the server, Chelsea and Yui. So this is a big game. First time we've seen the Hilltoppers on stream, I believe, in ever. We've seen Middle Tennessee State a couple of times. My former rival gave us arguably the best copy pasta / clip in SFA history with the Bo Wallace meltdown. But if you are betting on this game, this is the only push game of the week, which means it's just a pick 'em, and the over-under is 44.5. As Western Kentucky trying to keep pace in this division. Yes, sir, Nathan, you got to win as Louisville improved to 3-1 today. They beat Memphis. Yes, sir. Listen to D-Sleep. Twitch Prime makes your life so much better. That Prime sub. All right. So here we go. All right, they won the toss. So Yui, so maybe we'll get to see what's going on with their quarterback situation here. 1-2 versus 1-2. Big difference between 1-3 and 2-2, especially in a division race. And we're held scoreless here in the first quarter, going back and forth. Defenses coming up clutch. I believe Leon Fox, the lefty, they get a field goal and they add a touchdown. A 2-score lead here for Western Kentucky as we hit halftime. The under looking good here, folks, as Western Kentucky trying to hold Flipper Masters off the board, but they can't. But they quickly respond, nicely done, and they have a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Next exchange of possessions, though, we know Flipper Masters and how good he is. They missed a field goal. Can MTSU bring this one back? We're getting into crunch time here. Remember, we only jump in if it's a 1-score game, and there you go. It's a 3-point game. We're going to go 1 play at a time here. 3rd and 8. 4th down here. Jackson Viss couldn't get it done, so here comes the punt. 3 timeouts left for Middle Tennessee State, and they have the ball. Flipper Masters formerly one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but he's had 2 seasons in a row derailed by injuries. If you don't know his story, in high school, he got shot in the arm a couple of times, but he did battle back. He has fantastic accuracy, but he has a noodle arm, absolutely no power behind it. That's why he wears that sleeve and everything. Here we go, 1st and 10 here for MTSU. They bring a blitz on him. Nothing doing there for Flipper. Dogwater, I don't think Flipper popping for 400 here as they come out under center. And look at Western Kentucky. No respect, completely stacking the box. But they get out wide and they turn the corner. But wait, we got a flag here. What is the call? And we got a clipping call here on the offense. So mistakes coming out clutch. Maybe that's why they were able to set the edge. But 2nd and long coming in. I love you, D-Sleep. Statistically speaking, every time someone uses their Prime sub on the SFA, someone is told that their cancer has been cured. Correlation? Worth a try. As we get 3rd and long now for Middle Tennessee State. So Western Kentucky, UE playing some stout defense. But remember, Middle Tennessee State still has those 3 timeouts. So they might considering punting the ball back if they can't do something here. And Flipper, he has time. He yams it to corner, and they make this a much more manageable 4th down. So they are obviously going to go for it here. They just need to do that again. Can UE stay put? This is for the game for UE. 3 down linemen. 4th and 10. Shotgun here for Flipper Masters. He has time. 3-man rush. He yams it, and it's deflected by Leroy Wilson. What a play from the defender. He just got there in time, and Western Kentucky takes over. Here comes the lefty, Leon Fox. Can they do it? 1 first down wins the game. Handoff up the gut. That's Jackson Viss, the SFA freshman. There's Chelsea. She's pissed. All right, here we go. 1 first down wins it for UE. 2nd and 6, handoff. No, Leon keeps it. Can he get there? Leon, no, he goes down. Chelsea hates it there. She's pissed. All right, 3rd and 3. Last chance here for Western Kentucky to win it. Hand off the gut. No, he's going to throw it to lefty. He throws it out. A beautiful throw, and he overthrows him. Oh, no, Leon Fox. He had it. Now Middle Tennessee State keeps the timeout. And they're going to get another chance. Wait, they're going for it. Here we go. 4th and 3. UE keeping the offense on the field. They hand it off to Viss. He has a room. Can he get there? He falls forward. Yes, Jackson Viss. He's a receiving back, but don't tell him that. He just powered for the first down and to win the game. Western Kentucky wins it at home, a critical divisional matchup. UE improves to 2-2 on the year. Yes, sir, he receives first downs. What a play from the freshman tailback. That's why you recruit SFA players, folks. They do the impossible. Dogwater in shambles. If you had Western Kentucky and BearCave, you thought that was a great spot. If you had Middle Tennessee State, you thought it was a terrible spot. There's no in between. And as we hit triple zeros here, Leon Fox gets it done here. 17-14. The under hits on the 44.5 line. What a play here, deflecting that away. Big time game-saving play there. Leroy, oh, beautiful. Pristine, wonderful, beautiful catch. And Leon Fox, the Heisman conversation continues. He takes down Flipper. Who's next? Charlie Horton popping off there. Except nobody rewatched that overthrow on the 3rd and short. Yeah, we don't need to rewatch that egregious missed throw. Who said that these G5 games at the beginning of BearCave can't be fun? That was fantastic. All right, let's take a look at the stats here. Flipper Masters got himself a run, and it was a pass from Leon Fox. All right. Hey, Dogwater, let's go. Yui got one. There you go for the win. Congrats, Yui. Everything coming up Yui today. Leon Fox, actually a great game for a guy who's a 63 overall, but Jackson Visp, 3 yards of carry. He got it done when it mattered. Only 1 reception for 29 yards. That you might want to give him the ball more. But Benny Keuchel, the SFA freshman, giving up 2 sacks here today. But 2 sacks for Doug Lee. Titus Wright. These are some great names on this Western Kentucky roster. All right, and Middle Tennessee State, 14 of 30 here for Flipper. He really needed that last one. And running the ball, Sean Walker. This is what happens when you don't recruit. Your team gets bad. Clint Perry, a couple of sacks, feasting on the freshman. But, yeah, that's going to be the game. Oh, hey now, Taylor Swift here in support of Flipper Masters here in Western Kentucky. I don't even know what small town Western Kentucky's in. Hey now, the Hilltoppers have a fantastic brand, man. The Red Grimace, I don't know what they call them, the Red Blob or whatever. But let them cook, man, let them cook. She was actually there. Taylor Swift was actually there to see Grimace, the Red Grimace. All right, here we go. Next game up is we have, I believe, would be the most popular team in the G5 right now, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. This team has been ridiculous this year. They went from a 9-6 game with Tulane to shutting out one of the best offenses in the group of 5 in Coastal Carolina last week. They lost Peyton Hillis for the season. Their fullback, Workman's filling in. B-Dog wants to kick. Let's go. So let's see if they're kicking off a couple of games here in the non-conference. Let's see if they can actually get it done. Northwestern has kind of been a first-year team the last couple of years for Jackie Moon and Mushbrain to vault their careers and then leave. So they're back to being a G5 team, and we've got rain here in southern Mississippi. Yes, Southern Miss has been absolutely wild on these games. And if you are betting on this ridiculous team, it's a 4-point spread here for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And it's an over-under of 36.5. Now, Southern Miss, if you follow our Instagram, you would know that Southern Miss is averaging giving up 8.66 points a game this season. So, big-time defense. We'll see how that translates against a Power 5 team here in the bottom half of the Big Ten. But number 20 in the nation after their shutout of Coastal and CJ Irons. Cryo's hilarious, man. We're just submitting applications on Indeed and somehow wound up in Las Vegas. I have a great meme that I'll send for you later. But Southern Miss here. Oh no, they give up an early touchdown, so not the best start here for Southern Miss. They've got to get that offense in gear. There you go. D. Dowis getting a touchdown. And now the defense shows, but a quick touchdown at the end of the half. I think the biggest problem is this offense. Are they going to be able to continue to outpace these opponents with this triple option team? Well, they're down 2 scores. They're down 3 scores now. 18-point game. That is not what you want to do. Oh, no. Southern Miss. Not like this. They get 1 back. Come on, defense. No, the defense. What are you doing? They give up a 47-yard tutty. Southern Miss, no, not like this. There they go. They got it back. Can we get a comeback? Can we get a comeback? Remember, we don't jump in until it's within 1 score. Oh, there they go. Southern Miss gets back within 1 score here. Down by 5, and the 2-point conversion was no good. So they need a touchdown. And remember, we will jump in at the 2-minute mark. Here we go, a 3rd and 9 for Northwestern. Game clock is rolling. 3 timeouts for Southern Miss. You have to have it here. Comeback, down 18 in the 4th quarter. This would be a comeback for the ages for these Golden Eagles. Their running clock here. Northwestern, can they convert? They are going to throw it. 3-man rush. And they dump it off. Can they get there? Depends on the spot, and they give it to him. Oh, a bad spot, but Isaac Harden gets it done, and 1 more first down will win the game. The spot today has been egregious. If you guys don't know, in our version of Revamp that we're on, I believe that the yard mark is about a half of a yard. It shows that, remember, the yellow line's unofficial. It's about half a yard. Wait a second! Whoa! Yeah, I thought he almost forced a fumble there. That was a big hit. 3rd and 11. All is not lost when you have D. Dowis. He may be a bust sometimes, but he is a boom every other time. They hand it off here, 3rd and 11, and down he goes. So 4th down, they are going to get the ball back with a couple of chances. Yeah, I thought that was the fumble animation. I mean, they sometimes do fumble out of that animation. Yes, sir. D. Dowis legacy drive. If you remember, in the bowl game, he had a chance at a legacy drive, and he fumbled inside the 10. He's going to get his chance. It's going to be rough. You got to, as a triple option offense, you've got to get a touchdown in less than 30 seconds. But remember, he has like 99 speed. Can they get a nice return to help him out? Doesn't look like it. They're just going to let that bounce through the back of the end zone. Here we go. 34 seconds on the clock here for Southern Miss. 80 yards. Can they do the unthinkable? D. Dowis in the backfield with Ray Rice. And there's Hassan Pippinger. D. He has some time. He throws that. He just dumps it off. Wait a second. It's dropped. That might have actually been good for Southern Miss, as that defender swatted that out of the stadium. They're coming back out under center. D. Dowis again. And he yams it down the seam, and oh, it's dropped by Hassan Pippinger, the freshman tight end. D put that one on a rope. All right, 3rd and 10. You got to at least get into yam range, Hail Mary range around the 45. D has time this time. He dumps it off, and they don't give him the first. The clock is ticking. Oh, my gosh. How upset would you be as a Southern Miss fan looking at these spots? Now, under 10 seconds left, they dump it off, and it's dropped by Ray Rice. The game is over. Northwestern gets the upset. Man, Ray Rice can't catch. He drops 2 like that. D-sleep. Oh, man. That time it wasn't D's fault. He actually delivered a couple of great passes. He drops 2. But man, they had to get a stop there, and the defense does not do what we needed them to. We needed the defense to help them out. As the over easily hits here today in the rain. What a start to BearCave today. Some great finishes. They needed the fumble. And it's almost time for probably my favorite game of the week is going to be Ohio and Ohio State. This is a torch passing football game. Is the Ohio State Dynasty over, and is the Ohio Dynasty beginning for Howard Black? All right, let's see how this one shook out, though. Corbett going crazy. Clifford, they almost got that touchdown. I mean, they had their moments. D. Dowis, 3 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. They couldn't run the ball today. I mean, over 5 yards a carry, sure, but when you're down, you got to start throwing the ball, and that's literally the worst possible thing that can happen for you is as a triple option team being down multiple scores. But Northwestern, I mean, doing what they had to do. Harden kind of popping off. Andy Brown. Spreading the rock around greatly. No sacks or anything. They just beat them. Hey, Dogwater popping off today. He's loving Arizona. Yes, fire J Jettas. It should, if you get gifted a sub, subs last a month, so you should be able to watch every stream for the next 30 days, ad-free. Be able to use all of the emotes and stuff. And you're helping to, it's a 10-minute sub. Alright, let's go. Alright, Black, Coach Black, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive, as you are the away team. Yeah, spam those fire J Jettas emotes as he's the number 3 team in the country. All right, Ohio, can they do the unthinkable? He has one of the top tailbacks in the country. Wheeler is in the top 5. Tails and kick for Black. We love this team. The defense kind of playing well, and his defense actually is insanely good. He has a bunch of SFA transfers back there. Howard is low-key probably one of the best, if not the best coach in the transfer portal. If only Hunter would have panned out at quarterback. I think that's the biggest fault for this team. And somehow Ohio State stays ranked at number 25. Boo. So we got tails and kick for Ohio. And they win it. Hopefully that's not the only thing they win today. Is the Ohio Dynasty officially over? And will you rob me of $15K in the CC Sportsbook? Next quarter here. Quick touchdown for Ohio. Ohio State responds, but Ohio responds. Ohio State gets a field goal. They won the first quarter. 3 more, folks. Can they do it? Remember, if you were betting, oh no, Ohio State takes the ball and the lead, and thank God it's only a 10-point game. But if you're following this, this is a 13.5-point favorite for Ohio State, and the over-under is 48. So as we head to the third quarter, can Ohio State battle back? Long drive, they get a field goal, but Ohio State responds. No! All right, clutch time for Ohio. They've got to get something going. They haven't scored a touchdown since the first quarter. And they stop him. No good for Mitchell. But doesn't look... Oh, gosh. Fumble on the goal line for Wheeler. And that just might be the game. Can they come back here late? They do score a late touchdown. But it is still a cover here for Ohio State. Can they get a stop? No, there they go. And the over obviously hits. Ohio State popping off today. Trying to... erase all of the doubts across the country about this team. And no on 4th and goal, If they go for 2, are they going to go for 2? No, they are not. So it's going to be a cover for Ohio State. Man, Ohio, they had a chance there. Terrell Flowens, the SFA player, getting a touchdown. Malik Nicholson going off. Tim Elford, this redshirt senior, actually played pretty well in as a starter. Would have liked Wheeler to do a little bit more there. 2 touchdowns for Scott. And then on defense, Coffee leading. He got an interception as well. The transfer over from Georgia Southern, and then transfer from Nebraska here popping off. But that's about it. Nobody else really doing much. Then if you look at Ohio State here, Lee Sanders finally having a good game. Malik Nicholson going crazy. Terrell Flowens over 100 yards. 16 pancakes for the center. And then a couple of sacks here. And only 1 for 3 on field goals. Yes, great for performance for Ohio. You know, if this becomes like a yearly matchup, you know, who knows? Tyson Coffee in a Ohio uniform is crazy. And then obviously, when you're facing a team like this, you can't turn the ball over. All right, now we're going on to the Sickos game of the week between the winless Mountaineers and the number 15 winless Nebraska Cornhuskers. Remember, on the Sickos game of the week, we always, if I remember, run a prediction. Today is Arian on. Does Arian Green Davis score a TD? Yes. No. All right, folks, you got 1 minute to use your Bob and Us here. Does Arian Green Davis, the top wide receiver prospect from season 12, does he score a touchdown today? He did not score a touchdown against Oklahoma in the New Heights Classic. We saw them last week. Let me know when the timer runs out. Is on my end. For some reason, I can't see the timer. But it's everybody was really impressed. Nebraska had the lead up until the final drive where Oklahoma made the game-winning drive. Arian Green Davis, will he score a touchdown? Hoping Coach Hud, he's kind of had a rough season so far with injuries and game glitches and all that. This would be a fantastic win to reel him back in. A lot going on the yes, I believe. Yeah, we love AGD. Yeah, it would be a big payout. The poll is closed. All right, let's get into this, the Sickos game of the week. Coach Crew or Hud, if you're here, I'll give you about 5 seconds. Let me know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I don't see either of them. I'm just going to go with the away team like I always do. When it's when there's not a user here, and I always go heads and kick if I win the toss. And oddly enough, they rank in this offense pretty bad, but we saw Julius Swain on game day. He looked fantastic, and we got more rain here in Nebraska. Oh boy, the rain can definitely have a negative effect on this game, but a Nebraska team that was in the national championship last year, they have to get a win today. So heads and kick. Pretty much, honestly, I think, like, even though they could win out, go 9-3, win the Big 12 potentially in a weak division, this is kind of a must-win for Nebraska, especially to keep them at the forefront of the coaches' minds as well. But a field goal start for West Virginia. Nebraska once again struggling on offense, but they do have the lead here after the first quarter. Can they battle back? For those of you betting on the sportsbook, it is a 7-point favorite for Nebraska and a 59.5 over-under. And Nebraska at halftime leads by 11. Can they extend the lead? West Virginia battling back, but Nebraska re-extends it here in the third quarter as we head to the fourth quarter here. And they extend it even more. And All right, we're at 59.5. If another score hits, the over hits. Can West Virginia make this a game? Yes, they do, and they get that 2-point conversion. Oh, boy, here we go. Remember, when we get inside 2 minutes, here we go. 2nd and 3. Can Nebraska finish them off and avoid the comeback? 2nd and 3. Clock is running. West Virginia does have those timeouts. Handoff, Joel McKinley, and he does not get it. Wait! They give him the first down! What in the world is that spot? They gave him the forward progress. I guess, but the refs had some Nebraska futures. All right, here we go. West Virginia needs another one. They've had some crucial injuries this year. 2nd and 7. They got to get some luck now. The refs bet the over. 2nd down anyways. Handoff, Joel McKinley, and that's going to be the game. You got to be able to stop the run when it matters, and West Virginia just can't. Hey, Nick, 11 months? Let's go. No, I think that it's just a visual glitch. I think Nick's pointed this out before, but I believe that the yellow line might be a half of a yard, potentially, farther away than it should be. So keep that in mind. All right, so Nebraska just eking out that critical win. 3rd and 15, barring a disaster here, but I don't think there will be. And Chewy is here to see it. You had a lead 35-17, but West Virginia battled back in the rain. But you get it done. The first win here for Julius Swain, taking over the offense on the back of Joel McKinley, one of my favorite running backs in the country. Big time win for Nebraska. And we just need this team to readjust. They don't have Paul Sanford anymore, so you can't just yam it deep every play. BYU covered, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to go through the results here. So it was a BYU cover. Western Kentucky won. You had Northwestern win outright. We had Ohio State cover. And we had Nebraska win. No cover. And that's where we're at. All right, let's see how this one ended up. See if Arian Green Davis did get a touchdown. But Joel McKinley, Julius Swan got a rushing touchdown. And Washiko Johnston got himself a touchdown again in the slot. Washiko Johnston has, I guess everybody's just covering Arian Green Davis, Dallas Johnson up, and they're just throwing it to the other wide open SFA player, as we saw on the game day or last week. Defensively, Richie Boots, the SFA player, getting 9 tackles and a deflection. Nothing else really to speak of here. And Nebraska, Julius Swain, however you want to say it. Not the best game for him today, but, hey, 4 TDs on the ground in the rain. And Arian Green Davis does not get a touchdown here today, folks. So for the prediction, the no hits. And that's actually the 23% outcome. Oof. Tough on ya. So if you bet the no, you are vibing, as Dictator gets 3 tackles for loss and a sack. You've got Mark Jones with a sack and interception for Randall. And that's going to do it for this game. And everything's coming up clutch today for Yui. Bobinas, a sub, and a win? Does that mean Yui's going to get a recruit? I don't even know if you pitched, but maybe. All right. Remember, folks, recruits coming tonight as well. Typical normal game day like normal today. The only difference is you guys will be able to clown me in the chat when the Broncos give up 70 points. All right, and we are at the point where it is time for the Patreon game of the week. Kind of forgot what it was. Florida and Utah, yes. All right, so here we go. So, Moon, let me know, kick or receive. This is a 9.5-point favorite for the home team, and it is a 55.5 over-under. So, my parlay hits if Utah wins, so that means Moon is going to choke, per usual. Moon wants to kick. So, Toko Mahapakarori at running back. This is a Utah team who the offense has scored 27 points in both of their games, and the defense has been shutting these teams down. On the other hand, Florida has had some tough sledding in the opening of SEC play here early on. So, Utah, the reigning Pac-12 champions, the reigning SFA Hall of Fame Hawaii Bowl. Remember, go submit your Hall of Fame ballots. And just to put it out there, Nick, I wanted Cardale on the Hall of Fame graphic, but Pin wouldn't let me get away with not putting Michael Morris on there for 1 year. So he made that decision. Was not me. Yes, we're at Lil Ah Stadium as Moon wants kick. Nick is a big-time supporter here of Utah. I believe he said that they would win the national championship on the PCM thing, the podcast, as 3-3 here early on. Florida 6-3. Man, a couple weeks ago, this Patreon game was a field goal only game. Will we have another one? As Florida takes a 10-point lead. Oh, Utah! Stop! What? Oh my god, I just lost 15K on Coach Moon. What are you doing? Alright, I need you to start doing something, man. Quick touchdown, that's what we needed. Another quick, no, a field goal! Oh no, here we go. Come on, Utah, baby, they get back within a touchdown. Come on, defense, come through. Come on, defense. There you go, 4th down. As we're inching closer. Stop going backwards! 4th and 8. Can they get a stop? Remember, we will jump in at that 2-minute mark. Here we go. Utah has those timeouts, but they need a stop. Can they stop Florida? 2nd and 4 here around the 50. And to the outside, and they can't get him, but they push him out of bounds. Big brain play there from the Florida Gator. Carl James, the IQ of a Gator, I guess you could say. All right, they still have those 3 timeouts. You cannot give up another one. Hand up the gut. He gets about 5. You got to get a better push than that, Coach Moon. He knows that he's talking to his defensive coordinator there, telling him what the hell. 2nd and 5. Got to get a stop here. They just come out in this power set. They just feel like they're more physical, and they hand it off. And what was that angle? Oh my, what are you doing? And that is very likely the game. He got juked out of his shoes. Oh man, and I lose another 15K. 2 weeks in a row just getting blown up by my bets. Moon, you're just going to tank my strength of schedule. Oh. And 9.5-point favorite loses. Florida. All the homies hate Florida. This is worst case scenario, man. I hate the SEC. Oh, wait, they're going to throw it. 3rd and 15. Come on, Utah! It's not over! Please, please throw it. Please throw it incomplete. Please throw it incomplete. Come on. They're just going to hand it off. We got to force a fumble or something. Now, they may actually get a chance here. They might have to kick a field goal or something and mess it up. They're going to throw it. Get him! Over the middle. What are you doing? Utah! This is the Utah of Season 10. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. And the upset hits. The top 10 team in the country goes down. I was not as high on this team as others, but I still thought that they were really good. Yeah, looking for Satana, Fitz, and Kira Streaker next season. As better days ahead for the Utah Utes, but not today. But remember, folks, it's a non-conference game. It really doesn't matter for Utah's playoff hopes. But that was a tough conversion there. So a Utah choke there. At least the under hit for you bettors. Yeah, exactly. You lost to Utah State last year, and it still wound out pretty well, so. Better days ahead for the Utes. And you know what? Florida's a quality loss. You know, at least if you're playing a blue blood, right? You know, this isn't Utah State, as you said. So even if they wind up 6-6, which they likely will, it'll still be considered a decent game. But you got the battle of the SFA kickers, Bruno Ferrari and Toto Sucky. But they just dominated that second quarter, the 21 points there, and then they just held their own. Pacarori, how did he do? As Brandon Mitchell needs to be better, man. That is just not what you need. Toko averaging 4.6 a carry, got a touchdown there. Through the air, that was the problem. The passing offense. 8 pancakes for the freshman, Lemus Broadway. That's what you like to see. Blair, not able to get sacks, but he gets a few tackles for loss, so we'll take that. How did Bruno Ferrari do? 2 of 2. He did his deed. Looks like a couple short field goals there. And then Florida, Justin Malone, the new quarterback, plays well, but they just ran it down their throat with Carl James, as we saw. And not much else from this team. And yeah, not a lot of extracurriculars today as far as sacks or turnovers. But yeah, that is the game. You act like Tennessee and Alabama are good there, Nikki. Oh, the inner SEC hater in me, man. I can't tame it. I know they're good. I just don't want it to be true. I already know the script this year. It's ECU is going to somehow get their way to the national championship, and I'm going to lose to an SEC team. I always rag on you guys saying you still haven't had a national championship in the SFA, and I'm going to be the one to give it to you. I already know how this one ends. And speaking of which, it is time for me to stop running. It's time to sim my game. As always, if I am not on stream, you get to watch the sim and see what happens here. So this is how I sim all the non-stream games. I do it in front of the Patreon guys. But yeah, here we go. ECU barely pulls it out. We'll take it. Christian Richard and Dan Daly face off. And Christian Richard, baby. Holy Toledo. 4 rushing touchdowns. Let's just take a look there. See what happened. Dan Daly doing his thing. But Christian Richard, 2 interceptions through the air. What are you doing, you twat? And Christian Richard, 4 touchdowns, 6.5 average. And Vanilla Vic only getting 9 carries for 79 yards. So our rushing offense is very, very good. But, yeah, kind of a weird game right there. Yeah, that's one of those where you just got completely vultured. And, you know what? The #1 team in the country showing their weakness as the pass defense is not all that great. Or the pass offense, I mean. But they got it done. A win is a win, especially in division, in conference. All right. So moving on to the next game of the day is going to be Buffalo and Pitt. So Pinhead, if you're here, let me know heads or tails, kick or receive. Buffalo, obviously, are defending national champions, lost to ECU last week, 41-5. Feel I need to remind everybody about that one. And he's going against Coach Crew and the Pitt Panthers, his actual hometown team. I don't think I can lick. I don't think that's an option. He wants to lick the ball. Be the ball. You want to be the marble. All right, here we go. Yes, you stand by it. He wants to lick it. All right. Coach Crew, can he do an upset? This division to me this season is like Clemson is just slightly better than everybody else who is just going to beat each other to death. So we'll see what happens here. Pitt is no slouch. They do have a decent offense. Quite a few good SFA players on defense, but obviously this Buffalo defense is just as good as they were last year. So we'll see what happens. They just need to figure out their offense. New quarterback, they've had some growing pains there. All right, Heinz Field. Here we go. He said heads and lick. Let's see what happens. Tails, so he doesn't even get the chance to lick the ball. All right. 7 minutes on the clock. Buffalo, how do they respond to their first regular season loss in over 2 seasons? An opening drive touchdown. Can they do it again? Yes, they do. 14-0 here against Pitt. Perfect first quarter if you are a Buffalo fan. And if you were betting on the sports book, this is a 6.5-point favorite for the Buffalo Bulls and a 49.5 over-under as Pitt is getting smoked here at home. 35-0 at halftime. Pitt finally gets a touchdown here in the second half. And they finally found something. They get 10 unanswered points, but it's one of those games where it just feels a little bit out of reach. As they get a field goal. But they're holding Buffalo scoreless. Never mind. And that is going to be the game. Can Pittsburgh get another one here? It does not look like it. 42-13. And Buffalo responds in emphatic fashion after their loss last week. But Roth got involved. Calvin Tyrell, Dale Shivers. And then Thrash Daniels gets a scoop and score. Calvin Tyrell again before Sisk. Yeah, I mean, all their big-time players stepped up right there as you got 3 touchdowns. Another great game for Sean Hill. He's now, I would say, half the time he shows up. Omari Dunn getting some carries. Beverly, the leading receiver, didn't see that one coming as Calvin Tyrell, 3 catches for 2 tutties. Basically a, who's that? God, what's his name? George Kittle stat line from last week. Lots of pancakes. No sacks, though, but they got the fumble. Well, you got one from Whitmore here. They transferred from Texas Tech. But other than that, not much. And then how did Pitt do? Jaws Patterson, not even that bad of a game. But there it is. The rushing offense just was abysmal. Sisk couldn't get anything going. Patterson couldn't do anything. And then, obviously, through the pass, they did okay. Not on defense. Got 1 sack, but Sean Fellows, Clooney Bolton, and Rafi Spriggs, this linebacker core, didn't really do much to slow this team down. And that is the game. Licked and thrashed. Yeah, the oh no, we suck again meme. Yeah, that's typically a collective look for everybody after like a month. About half the teams think that they were going to be good this year. All right, but we're on the right side of the graphic, means the best games, and we've been kind of spoiled this year. We've had some really great games, and now this week was, there's not nearly as many, but we got a great rivalry coming up. We got the Kansas Jayhawks taking on the TCU Horned Frogs. So Think if you are here, heads or tails, kick or receive. In my opinion, this is a very surprising Kansas team. They were good last year, but obviously losing a 99 overall quarterback. I thought there'd be some regression, but Bryson Shant, the freshman quarterback, is actually playing really well. And this TCU team, on paper, look magical on offense, but we saw them on game day a few weeks ago. They didn't look all that great. So here we go. Fink versus Mango. What is going to happen? Fink, heads or tails, kick or receive if you are here. The defense has been really good. Zach's not a fan of TCU. They're at home yet again. See if the offense shows up here today, the Washington State offense that they like to use. Really, whoever wins this game will be the biggest threat to Baylor. And by threat, I mean slight back of the brain anxiety that won't come to fruition as Baylor's going to run this conference. But the battle for second place. Jay Jettas, you missed a lot. I'll go through it. BYU cover. Western Kentucky wins the push. Northwestern beat Southern Miss. Ohio State covered. Nebraska won. They no covered, though. Florida upset Utah. ECU won. And then Buffalo just beat Pitt. And now we're on to Kansas. So heads and kick for teams who are not here. If you're not familiar with a very old Pokemon reference, Buffalo used Lick on Pitt, and it was very effective. It's a lick-a-tongue move. It's an old head reference there. All right, here we go. Kansas taking on TCU, and a quick touchdown for TCU. 14-0. Did they show up today? There they go again. 21-0 for the Horned Frogs. Kansas doesn't know what hit them. They battle back, though. They get one back. They get another back. Here we go. We got a big-time game popping off. As we hit halftime, TCU has 31. Now, Kansas was a 3.5-point favorite coming in, and the over-under was 56.5. We're already almost there. Here we go. TCU, can they finish them off? Kansas battling back, and 10-point lead. TCU, they get a field goal. Kansas gets one back. It's a 6-point game. TCU, can they do it? Kansas takes the lead. They battle back here. Oh, boy, this is a shit show. 35-34. 3rd and 11. 4th down. We're going to get the ball back. They got to get it back now. Red Wine has the ball. We'll jump in at the 2-minute mark per usual. 4th and 13. Kansas is going to get the ball back. They got to get a stop. And they get a touchdown, a 51-yard by Barron. And the extra point hits. Here we go. 42-34. It's an 8-point game. A long touchdown for Kansas. Can they survive? But TCU, this is a big play offense. They can score in a hurry. They have all of their timeouts. 1:44. They're down a score. They can do this. Now, we saw them on game day. They didn't look all that great. But when they do decide to throw it, they are elite. Remember, Speedy Gonzalez, you got Darius Hayward-Bay on one end. And a fantastic tight end. And it's overthrown there by JT Redwine. JT, can they do it? This is one of the best pass offenses in the country when they actually decide to throw the ball. Can Mango battle his way back? 2nd and 10. JT has time. It's a corner blitz. They dump that off to the tight end, and they have plenty of time. I wouldn't necessarily worry about the clock staying in bounds there as Jermaine Washington gets his 2nd catch of the day. 3rd and 4. Clock is running. Got to focus, get this 1st down. They do a delayed give here on 3rd and short, and it works out. Stephen Sutton gets the rush. He's having himself a decent day, 143 yards on the ground. It's a team that loves to run the ball despite being a pass-first offense. Yeah, they've only got... Oh, a long yam! There it is! Darius Hayward-Bay, the transfer from Air Force, down the sideline, and TCU's in business. But yes, Kansas has only let up 3 points here in the second half. They're now inside the 15. If they score before using those timeouts, the 2-point conversion, they can still do it. Dumps that off, and Speedy Gonzalez drops it. In like quintuple coverage, JT Redwine going crazy, and he might have the thickest neck I've ever seen. Second and 10. Can TCU score without using those timeouts? It's going to be a screen pass. Sutton, he gets the ball and breaks a tackle. Does nothing there. First timeout comes out. So it looks like that they're betting it all on this drive. 3rd and 13 from the 14-yard line. They've been terrible on 3rd down here today. Bring a blitz. It's picked up. JT, no, he goes down. JT Redwine is sacked. 4th and 21, game on the line. They have to go to the end zone here. Looks like Patrick Chung coming down around the yard line. Is he going to blitz? He does. JT has time. No, he gets stuck, and down he goes. Turnover on downs. Kansas is going to win the football game. They come back. The dream season is alive with the freshman quarterback. Unbelievable. And now just a couple of kneel downs. We don't sim it as the game sometimes screws it up and gives the team the other ball. So just a couple of kneel downs here, and Kansas will survive a road game against TCU. He's eating. All that's blasting on the speaker's home is the fruit salad by the Wiggles. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Fruit salad, ay, yummy, yummy. Sing it with me, ay. Fruit salad, ay, ay, yummy, yummy, ay, ay. Fuck it up, ay, ay. All right, TCU goes down. Mango in shambles. Better luck next year, Mango. Maybe invest in your trenches. They had the chance inside the 14. They got the yam to Darius Hayward-Bay. You can't blame the offensive play call in there. You had your chance. That was not rapping, man. Have you not ever heard fruit salad by the Wiggles? Come on now. All right. Sutton got a long run. Speedy Gonzalez, Lloyd. They had a 21-0 lead and choked. Bryson Shant got himself a long run. And, I mean, they were destroying them 31-14 at halftime, and they just choked. Akron Barron, baby. 4 touchdowns in the second half alone. Bryson Shant, I mean, it got it done. But the transfer from Appalachian State, man, popping off. 159, 4 tutties in the second half alone. Yeah, it's true. The Wiggles are old head. That's my time. And the defense, Tez White. Oh, my God, he already was leading. Tez White, I think, is now up to, if I'm not wrong, double-digit sacks here in week 4. Holy Tez White. Man is going bonkers. Billy Gilmore, the SFA player, getting himself a sack. Oh, my. Tez White. I did not see that come up. JT Redwine did his thing, but not enough. And Darius Hayward-Bay quickly becoming the top target over Speedy Gonzalez, who's just getting clamped on the outside. And Roach getting a sack, but Roscoe Cherry, I mean, not doing much there for these SFA players on that defense. Yeah, I think you can already pencil in Tez White as a Team of the Year defensive lineman. Holy smokes. I believe Tez White might have been a 1 or a 2 star as well. Remember, folks, as long as you get an SFA player, they're worth it. I mean, Tez White, if you look at the screen, might have the smallest face I've ever seen, but let him cook. Just better peripherals in the helmet. All right, here we go, man. We've got some surprising comebacks, some surprising results going on here. A couple more games going on as we've got Washington taking on Arizona State, one of the most surprising teams in the country. Thought there'd be some regression with Rick going to a back channel role, but Washington's having a great year. But Arizona State in the transfer from Georgia Tech, Ben Fountain having themselves a year. Damien, if you're here, heads or tails, kick or receive? Washington had a tough loss last week to Stanford, fell all the way from 15 out of the top 25. So I would say that this is a rankable team. I still had them ranked, but Arizona State maybe also a bit overranked. So this is a bit of a weird matchup going on, but everybody's loving this Arizona State team. When you win on game day, you're always overranked. It's just kind of how it works. As Washington is going to start with the ball. Can they get a massive upset here? They start out with a touchdown, but Arizona State responds. A quick response for Washington. Here we go. If you're betting on this game, it's 6-point favorite for Arizona State and a 60.5 over-under. We knew this would be a high-scoring game. Washington, though, coming up clutch. Oh, Washington, baby. The first half belongs to them. Are we going to get another top 5 upset here today? Arizona State battling back. Oh, they get only a field goal as we go to the fourth quarter. It's a 2-score game. Can they finish it? No. Ben Fountain, man, not having a good game, and there it is. Oh, no. Arizona State getting boat raced at home, and that's the game. Washington. An unbelievable performance for Washington here as Arizona State takes their first loss on the year. So, as always, the South is just a cluster. As soon as Utah loses, Arizona State just can't capitalize. And we're going to go through Arizona State here first. Heron had a great day on game. BearCave couldn't do anything here today. Rafa Hooker getting a touchdown, but that's about it. And the defense, man, what happened? Just nothing. One sack, but even the TFLs weren't looking all that great. And then Washington, man, Joe Davis, they have 2 very capable quarterbacks playing, running the ball as well for Joe Davis, and they just went crazy through the air. The defense also coming up clutch. You get 2 sacks from Palmer, you get an interception from Campbell, and you're off to the races. What a disappointing game there for ASU. Very disappointing. But as we get one more game today, it's going to be a big one. Jarkus taking on Minnesota, a team that is vaulting up in the rankings. They've had 2 big-time wins this season. And that is going to actually be another prediction. So remember, folks, we don't do any sort of covers or anything when I do these predictions. It's just going to be a who wins outright. Are you going to pick Minnesota? Or are you going to pick Iowa? You got 1 minute on the clock. Get those Bobanos ready. Here they come. The final game of BearCave today. Remember, folks, we also have recruiting coming later. Everything that normally happens on a game day coming tonight. We got game day next. It's Alabama, Tennessee. And then we also have recruits coming later. We're going to the Big Ten here, and if you're here, Jarkus, let me know, heads or tails, kick or receive, or just kick or receive since you are the home team. I don't get it either. Kansas should not be good, man. They were losing on the road. I think it's just inspiring him. I don't know. He put some sort of curse, reverse curse on this team. Tails and kick. Let me know when the prediction ends so I can go ahead and go in. And it's the final game here on BearCave today. It's a 4.5-point road favorite for Minnesota and an over-under of 51.5. Yes, Washington won, man. They absolutely destroyed it. All right, can Iowa get it done? They had a tough loss last season. As I'm also on my side, turning on the Broncos versus the Chiefs. Wish me luck. All right, Jason Richardson, can they get back into the win column? They lost to Michigan last week. Can they take down Minnesota, who's really the more important game because it's inside their division? This is always a very hard division to win. The reigning Big Ten champions, the Iowa Hawkeyes, can they do it? Tails and kick for Jarkus, but he doesn't even get to choose. And here we go. Slade Roden versus Jason Richardson on tap. 3-0 here. Are we going to get some true Big Ten football as Minnesota takes an early lead? And nothing there. And Iowa, come on. There you go. Campbell, wait a second. What's happening? These are the quickest scores I've ever seen. Holy smokes, as we go into the second half now. 31-13 in the blink of an eye. Iowa battling back, though. You got to be able to get a stop on Slade Roden, and they do. An interception. Can they score here? We're going to go one play at a time. It's still a two-score game, but we're not going to jump in unless they score here. There they go. They get it in. 3-point game here. And we'll jump in right at that 2-minute mark. Here we go. 3rd and 1. Iowa needs a stop. 3rd and 1. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. What is going on in this game today? Can they get him? Slade Roden. He stopped short. The timeout comes out. Iowa comes through. Slade Roden is dropped. What a play by the defender. Iowa has their chance. Jason Richardson and company. Willie Anderson, the punter slash wide receiver. Is he going to be the hero? They punt this one towards the sideline. They don't want to give up a return, and they don't. Hey, man, 8 minutes in this game, and there's not a score yet against the Broncos. I'll say we're cooking, man. Jason Richardson, 76 yards away. They come out empty here. Minute 23 left, 2 timeouts, plenty of time. He yams it over the middle. Oh, my God, the drops today have been ridiculous. We saw it with Ray Rice. Now we're seeing it with these receivers, man. Remember, in the offseason, I lowered the wide receiver catching slider by 1 tick. From, I think I had it 55 just to 50. Dumps that one off. That's caught, but that's going to go for nothing. 3rd and 8 incoming already. Willie Anderson, the SFA player, his 3rd catch on the day. As Jason Richardson, he decides to take off. He finds some room. Can he battle? No, but he goes out of bounds, saving a timeout. 4th and 2 upcoming for the Hawkeyes. Game on the line. Can the Hawkeyes do it? They're 1 for 1 on the day. Watch out for Delvin Blizzard in the middle. You really wish you had Dan Davis at this point. Richardson, he has time. He floats it out wide, and it's overthrown! Minnesota takes over! Now, the game is not technically over. They still have a chance to get the ball back. But that is a tough one to swallow right there. You wish Richardson would have at least given him a chance. Handoff up the gut, brought down easily. Tom Ackerman in the middle. Time is not lost. They will still have a chance to get the ball back with under 10 seconds left. As they just decide to kneel it here. 3rd and 12. They might decide to kneel it and just kick a field goal. As they just decide to kneel it again. 4th down and 14. 12-second difference, though, between the play clock and the play clock, as they're coming out empty here on 4th and 14. So it looks like they're just going to give them the ball back and run a play, though, to try and run some more time. Interesting decision here for Minnesota, as this might be yam range for Jason Richardson if they can get a stop. Or they may not even snap this ball. They might just take the delay of game. No, they are going to snap it. They bring a blitz. Oh, and they get it off to the receiver. You got to get him down. 9 seconds left here for Iowa. Potentially 2 plays. I wouldn't say that is the best clock management for Minnesota to run this game out, but they're just being safe with the ball. Minnesota obviously wins over Nebraska, Ohio State, and now potentially Iowa. They come out empty. You cannot throw this short of the line to gain. Has to be deep. Richardson here yams it to the corner, and they call it incomplete. He didn't get a foot in bounds. This is the game. You see how far Jason Richardson can throw it. 2nd and 10, now 74 yards away. We've seen 75-yard touchdowns before, so watch out. Except you're not facing dog water. 2nd and 10. Everyone going deep. He's going to run out of time. He throws it, and it's picked off. Intercepted as he was hit, and Minnesota's going to win the football game. Picked off by Dennis Luke. In Minnesota, once again, starting out 3-0 with wins over Nebraska, Ohio State, and now Iowa. By far the toughest schedule in the country, and they are undefeated. Watch out for the Golden Gophers, people. Jason Richardson can't believe it, but remember last season they went through a similar thing. They started out rough at the beginning of the year, and then they started popping off. As they win that pig trophy. I believe that's a Homeland trophy. That was game day last year. As they got a kickoff return, you can't allow that. 2 kickoff returns. Jarkus, you need to talk to your special teams coordinator, man. Can't be having that. They've given them a free 14 points for no reason. You would have easily won this game. That's why there's so many of those quick touchdowns at the beginning. Quinn Horn, though, had a game. Willie Anderson, you know. But the defense, you got a sack here. Interception from Morris, but, you know. Your team played the way they had to. It's just these returns, man. Slade Roden didn't even have a good game. Sean Bailey didn't even play well. Like, this is a team that played 14, 17-point football. The defense, I mean, A.J. Klein played well. Freddie Funyuns locking himself down. Like, you didn't even give up any sacks to the big guys. You gave up that last-second interception, whatever, but look at this returning, man. Jude Abraham and Tommy Mobley pop off, folks. And that's going to do it for BearCave here. As always, though, we will go through next week's games, Week 5. Dude, I cannot wait for the timeline where Minnesota knocks Oklahoma out in the playoff. I cannot wait for it. It's going to happen. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be hilarious. Slade Roden in Minnesota getting the last laugh for Jay Jetta's bailing on him. All right, and now obviously let's make sure that we got all of these games done here. Obviously that's our game day, and that's all of them. So going through Week 5 here. Now, obviously, next week, I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so it's going to be a little rough for me posting everything. I'm going to post all of the everything as normal, but, like, rankings won't be correct in the screenshots, that sort of stuff, because I'm going to have to prep everything tonight and tomorrow before I get on a plane. I'm hoping game day will be regular time, but we'll have to see. And as always, game day polls and all that stuff will happen, hopefully at the right times. But bear with me next week. But there's a lot of great games here on the schedule. It's going to be a fun time. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going to have to play Cincy, man. Like, those are going to be the 3 timelines. It's going to be, I have to play Cincy. Jay Jettas has to play Minnesota. And then I'm going to lose to an SEC team in the championship. That will be the funniest thing. All right. So there's week 5. Thank you guys all for watching the BearCave stream. We got a ton of subs and stuff. Thank you guys so much for that. Remember, it goes to you guys, whoever is going to win a national championship. I think we're at the point where it's going to be primarily users winning the natty. But yeah, we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes here, and thanks for watching.